Who were our ancestors? Where do we come from? And how did we get here?
Just an exciting time to be alive in the world of family history, I'll tell you.
Come and find out what we had at the Family History Library, and also what the church was doing worldwide to gather records for things to be online.
Family history has changed so much just over the last 10 years. You can do so much online, you know, on Ancestry.com and the other websites, and it's easy to get started. I think people think that it's hard to get started, but in this day and age, it's so easy to get started, and it's so much fun. And just people to catch the passion of family history.
The very first time I came over here to begin searching for anybody, I said to myself, well, I know Wesley existed, so let's see if I can find him. Plugged him in and up he popped. Apparently it was a descendant of his wife's that did all this research up to where they got a hold of Wesley. And she went all the way back to 1724.
My ancestor came from Ireland during the potato famine, quickly recruited into the Civil War, and that was the beginning point of my book. The book is basically a three-part book. It speaks of my research of the story, the family story, what I call the long gray line, or Road to 600. His 60 descendants, or 600 descendants, have served in all the wars since the Civil War. So our long gray line is traced a little bit in the book, as well as the story of my research and how I found some of these materials. National Archives, library research, and more recently, Google, and things that have made life a lot easier than it was 20 years ago when I started.
Because my early ancestor, I guess, gave away land to have a school built, to educate the children in the area. And also the slave owner gave us land for a church. And so our family church was on land donated by the slave owner.
Family search is dynamic, has lots going on. We are gathering records, doing things all the time, and if you don't find what you're looking for today, come back tomorrow or come back next week. We're doing so much. We're putting up millions of new records, literally a month, if not a week on some weeks. We're putting up lots of new projects to be indexed online. We've got our wiki, so they can come and ask questions at the wiki site, wiki.familysearch.org. They can ask questions in the forum. So there are just so many tools for people to use. It's just a very dynamic environment.
People have asked me where they can find their own Bibles, and there's a website called ancestorhunt.com where people can look up the last names, and hopefully their Bibles or somebody they're related to are online. Try to find in your own home, or find someone in your family who has your family Bible. That way you can all collect it and restore it and have those names for your posterity. These are various cousins of mine, but like they have the X's after when they've died, and some are marked as not unmarried. And then my mother, can I flip the page? My mother has added my immediate family and my direct cousins. So it's nice to continue on the tradition.
My favorite is using Family Tree Maker, and the reason I like this program is because as you enter information into this, it automatically links to Ancestry.com, and what will happen is on your page, when you enter the name in, this leaf will come up. And if there's a leaf, it means that there's something on Ancestry.com that is a record for that person. So here's the person right here. There's 2 source records and 8 possible tree matches. That means 8 people are researching this same person. So they might have some information for me that I can use, and then all I have to do is go back into the computer and find his birth record or his marriage record or death record or whatever they're saying he has from a certain location, and I can verify the information. With the Ancestry.com, they have the Druin collection, which is the records from the Catholic Church from 1621 up until 1967. They were recorded in the Catholic Church, and then a copy was sent to the civil government, And so those records are now on the computer, and so anything from 1620 up till almost current day, you could get those records. So that's really exciting.
So let's just say, for example, you wanted to search Philadelphia Castle. No, let's do Philadelphia State Directory 1890. We click there, and then this is the Philadelphia State Directory. We can type in his name. We're going to search. I don't know. We may not find it. Yeah, it doesn't look like we found it. But, you know, at least we're searching that database. So, but yeah, so you should be able to. I would look and see if the search is something more. See search results for an individual, it's databases. Right. And then you can have it filtered by election, location, date. So is there a specific location that you're interested in? Okay, so let's go into USA. So it's going to narrow down to just USA records, and you can see this is the database count. It's going down. It went down from 29,000 to 24. So now let's click on Delaware, and it's going to update this list here. So now we're down to 8,000 records. So there's sometimes like these are counties, and sometimes it goes. You don't have to go down to the county. We can go into time period. Is there a specific time period, like a decade or a century?
Say 1850.
Okay.
Newcastle County.
Oh, you want to be in Newcastle County? Okay, so we'll click on Newcastle County, and then we can put it. So here it's like 28 databases gone down to, and it's a lot of like you have some court records, and so you can just kind of get an idea of what. And then if you click on it, you'll go into the actual database.
Okay, if you start at the church website, all right, you go to Family History and Temples. You go to Online Family History Databases. Then you go to Search Family History Websites. All right, once you click on Search Family History Websites, this comes up. You can click on the category of
what did you do then?
Search Family History Website.
Okay, I got that.
Then you can, under category, you can go down and you can search under nationalization and citizenship.
Oh, okay.
Now you can narrow it down to just that, or you can search none and it will search every category. All of these categories. Any search that you do, you are better off doing a broad search first before you narrow it down, because once you narrow it down, if you don't find anything, a lot of people just give up and they're like, can't find it, I don't know where it's at.
So you just put in the name and then let it search all the categories?
Yeah, you search the surname and then let it search all, like, every category.
Usually when patrons come in, they say, well, I can't trace my ancestors. And that's pretty much always not true. So it's a case of using the records that are available and reading them for the very fine details. Two messages, really. First of all, don't get discouraged. Keep after it, because more and more records are becoming available by the day. And secondly, always look for a group of people. If you don't find one person, look for their brother, look for their aunt, look for their cousin, because if your ancestor didn't tell anybody about their family, maybe their brother told everyone. He filled out every piece of paper to the nth degree. And I've had a lot of people surprised find their family that way, because their grandfather just said he was born North Carolina. Their grandfather's brother, in his draft record, gave the town, the church, his two closest relatives, and 3 friends. So it's always worthwhile to check everybody.
A lot of people weren't aware of the fact that they could actually photograph other photographs with their digital cameras today. They sort of had ingrained in their mind that everything had to be scanned.
Those are folders over there, the black things that are there.
I use Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. When you bring this guy back to full view, you can see what he looked like before. You can see all the dust and scratches, and then there's after. Now, as I was explaining a little bit earlier, when you do that, you do kind of soften the whole photograph. Like if you watch the detail in his face change, this was originally, you see the dust? Yeah, like you can see a little more clarity in his eye right there. That kind of disappears. Yeah. So, I mean, you still get an overall decent photograph.
This is the one my granddad did. He just did white background. And so like took all his pictures and like documents and stuff and put them in there. But then my sister-in-law made for like for their kids for when they get older so they can see how they met and fell in love. It's the cutest thing ever. So it starts, it's got like their journal entries and stuff that they wrote. And so you can see she did backgrounds and just put little doohickeys and stuff to make it look like a scrapbook without actually having to scrapbook it. And then she just prints out copies as the kids go. So, yeah, so that way she doesn't have that's like my brother, or she asked my brother's preference, like they kept the stuff and everything. So, that way, you know, they have all these pictures and like, they have the story behind them too, so it's not lost. Well, this one's really cool. This is a family friend of ours, and this is their Christmas card. So what they do is, you have some people write a letter, and it's like pages long. They just do a picture of the kid, like one little summary of them, and then so that way you can kind of see it. But in my opinion, I don't ever read letters, but like I'll read this. So, and then they make an extra one for all the kids, and then you have that every year. Is there something on the back? Family picture. You can keep stuff updated, like with your own genealogy, or like with granddad's and grandmom's, where like you took it and just put everything in there so you can see it. I like these because that way you can have your pictures and stuff out.
That is really cool. So you order that through the website?
Yeah, like I just, once I put that together, I just published it and then they sent it to me.
Okay.
Go home and get on your internet and do research. Ancestry, Footnote, and World Vital Records are the major subscription places. Cindy's List, Nation's Capital, and State Archives are the major free sources on the internet. Get on the website www.afamilyhistoryevents.org.